You know what's funny? I haven't really been talking about a lot of things in the so-called black conscious community because I don't really care anymore. I'm disconnected. I don't know what's going on their side. Netta and Dr. Umar Johnson, all the people. I don't know what's going on as of 2017. I've completely disconnected from those groups, right? But just to think back about the infighting, right, in the so-called black conscious community, the infighting of different ideologies, et cetera, et cetera. While that particular group, the black conscious community, is infighting about religion and who's the best lecturer, et cetera, et cetera. White supremacy is formulating into new and different groups, new with different ideologies, right? You have the Zionists, alt-right, traditionalists, alternative facts, TRS, all right, the right stuff, et cetera, et cetera. All trying to maintain and uphold the power structure of white supremacy. And you see Donald Trump just today established a hiring freeze of federal jobs. So while the so-called black conscious community is debating about who's the best lecturer and who has the best slide presentation for religion, they got to go to a job. And you best believe they work for the white man, and you best believe they'll be affected by this issue that Donald Trump just laid down about a hiring freeze for federal workers. So at the end of the day, black people are still mistreated, subjugated, dominated, et cetera, under this system of racism, white supremacy. That's what it all comes down to, family. So I'm going to briefly talk about the formulations of white supremacy, and just kind of give my thoughts on that. You know, this thing called alternative facts, and people. I've been reading comments. People talking about, oh well, it's not white supremacy. It's the Zionists. Yeah, it's the Bilderbergers. Again, that's Alex Jones talk. The Trilateral Commission. Alex Jones talk. It's the Illuminati. Alex Jones talk. All of these white supremacist fringe groups have the same thing in common. They all want to maintain and uphold white supremacy. And they do it in a new kind of nicer, user-friendly way. Not like the white extremists who just say, Zing hell! Kill all the blacks! They just do it in a very nice and user-friendly way, which is actually the same tactic that Margaret Sanger used to lure black people into her ideology with Planned Parenthood. Study the Negro Project, family. All right? And President Lyndon B. Johnson, when he did all of those studies, the Kerner Commissioner Report, the National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders, et cetera, et cetera. Study all that stuff, family. All right? Before I start further in my commentary, if you're new to this channel, I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group. And I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, which is white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you are new and you agree to that ideology, please subscribe to this channel. If you don't agree, subscribe anyway. If you want to hate, watch, and troll, go right ahead. It's still fresh in the new year in 2017, because at the end of the day, if you want to go ahead and do all of that, you are just a view count and a statistic. I want to keep my subscriptions and view counts up. So go right at it. Anyway, family. So, like I said, the formations of white supremacy, man, it's just, like I said, it's just one thing in common: to maintain and uphold systematic white supremacy. You have the so-called infighting, of these fringe groups of white supremacists, alt-right, Richard Spencer recently got punched in the face, to me, that's just showing the changing of the guards. He was the so-called leader of the alt-right, but there really was no leader at all of alt-right. Alt-right is just a organization that wants to maintain the power structure of white supremacy, right? And just do it in a quote-unquote politically correct way. Make it more user-friendly, okay? That's the appeal now. Make white supremacy user-friendly, right? So it's easier to digest by doing that. But these white supremacist groups have always been decentralized. Okay, there's never been a head of these white supremacist organizations. Never been a head. Never been a figurehead. All right, you can say there's a so-called spokesperson like Richard Spencer, okay, for these white supremacist organizations, but he's not a leader. He's not a true leader. There's no real leader of these white supremacist organizations. Okay, you can start from top to bottom. All of these so-called fringe groups. Okay, alt-right, TRS, Zionist, Traditionalists, Alternative Facts. With Spicer, the secretary for Trump, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things, okay, are just fragments of white supremacist ideologies that are formulating into a more user-friendly base to maintain white supremacy. That's all it is. That's all it is. So don't come at me with this, all of these Alex Jones, talking points. Yeah, it's the Bilderbergers. It's the Trilateral Commission. It's the Zionists. They want to be global. They want to be globalists. We're against that. We're traditionalists. Watch those words, family. Watch those keywords. Alt-right, alternative facts. Any ist or ism besides racism, it's just all white supremacy. All right? Globalism, anti-multiculturalism, Zionism, right? All of that is just white supremacy. That's all it is, family. That's all it is. So I want to also briefly talk about the hiring freeze that Donald Trump just laid out. I'm going to switch my scene real quick so you guys can see my monitor. So just today says Trump federal hiring freeze draws immediate fire from unions. So I'm going to play this video and see what they say about this. I don't know if it's going to play an ad or not, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, we're going to sign 3 memorandums right now. The first one is withdrawal from the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Everyone knows what that means, right? We've been talking about this for a long time. Thank you. Okay. Great thing for the American worker, what we just did.
Federal government employee hiring freeze.
You know what that means?
Except for the military.
Except
for the military.
Who's doing the damn camera pans? It's kind of extreme.
Next is the policy in regard to Mexico City. That's it.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, reaction to the lawsuit today? That's it.
Without that. Totally without that.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all it
Finally,
takes.
the president issued a memorandum.
That's all it takes, family. Just signing off. Just sign off on different things to make sure that people classified as black or African American are further disenfranchised, subjugated, marginalized under this neo-Nazi apartheid regime of Donald Trump for the next 4 years. All right. Now, I read about the Women's March, and I saw a couple of videos about that. The Women's March, you know, I know I'm kind of jumping subjects real quick, but I'm trying to make a point here. Now, they say that a lot of the people who showed up at the Women's March showed up and voted for Trump, right? But showed up anyway because, of course, the march was an anti-Trump march regarding women and women's rights, et cetera, et cetera. But the women that showed up there voted for Trump anyway, basically voting against their own interests by going in there for a anti-Donald Trump rally out in D.C. Those are the type of people, right? Those are the type of people I call white supremacist sympathizers. So what that basically means is they will practice systematic white supremacy, right, when it benefits them. So that's the only reason why they voted for Donald Trump in the first place, is to maintain systematic white supremacy. Now, you want to use coded language? Well, we want to protect our jobs, right? We want to protect our job. We want to make sure that we don't get any high taxes. That's coded language. Okay? That's coded language to make sure that people who are at the bottom of the totem pole, right? Black people and brown people, people classified as Hispanic, making sure those people don't get their quote unquote jobs taken and don't affect their quote unquote taxes. That's what you call practicing white supremacy at your convenience. So you can show up to a anti-Donald Trump rally and yeah, I'm here to support the women and Donald Trump. He is a womanizer. He's a bigot, right? Et cetera, et cetera. At the same time, you'll go back again 4 years later and vote for Donald Trump once again. That's what you call, again, white supremacy being practiced at your convenience. You can turn it off and turn it on at your convenience, simply to maintain the power structure of white supremacy. All right. And now, furthermore, about this alternative facts thing, just another method of maintaining systematic white supremacy in mainstream media. That's all it is. All right. Alternative facts. That's like me saying, yeah, this is real lies. Real lies. It's a goddamn oxymoron, man. You know, it's alternative facts. Right. But again, that's the language of that alternative, alt-right, traditionalists, right? All of that, again, is just formations of white supremacy. That's all it is. All right. So the hammer has been laid down, family. Trump already decided to go ahead and do an immediate hiring freeze of federal workers. And it's going to continue because this will affect a whole lot of black people, So if you work in the public sector, all I could say is pray, for those of you who have other skill sets or whatever, try to do something else and work on that. All I got to say is, man, just good luck, pray, hope for the best, and just keep your head up. That's all I can say about that. That's a dagger right there. That's a dagger right there to millions, potentially millions of black people in this country. All right. And while we're suffering, while we're being targeted as and treated as second-class citizens, as we should be, because obviously we're considered 3/5 of a person. The onslaught of white supremacy and the formations of these fringe groups in white supremacy continues to happen. because they're going to maintain and uphold the power structure, all right, of systematic racism, white supremacy in this country. That's what they're going to do. And it's going to continue to happen, family. So, like I said, all I can say is good luck, pray, try to find some of the skill set, work on that, all right, and hopefully you'll land something and find something that which you can work with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you can do that. So that's all I got, family. Just wanted to talk about that. This week, family, I'm going to be traveling. So be on the lookout for some scheduled uploads that I'll be having this week. I'll have a couple of videos regarding homeschooling your child. Very important videos you got to check out. I got a homeschooling forum, all right, that I recorded a couple years ago, and a homeschooling curriculum interview with Dr. Kaba Kabane, aka Booker T. Coleman. So be on the lookout for those videos dropping later on this week. All right, and I'll see you guys at the end of this week with more commentary. All right. So until then, family, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.